you guys. We got Breanne K on the line. Okay, I feel like I know you. Okay, I really do, but I don't. All right, and I'm not gonna act like I do, but I do. I see you all the time. Okay, I see you working. I've heard you on different training calls. But the main thing is that I see you working every day. There's probably a very small percentage of times where I logged into live dials and I didn't see you working. And a lot of folks ask like, what's the secret, or what's the deal, or how do I make this thing happen for myself? You know what I mean? Like what's the difference? And everybody says, well, not everybody, but you hear a lot of folks, they go, well, just work, work, work. But I don't know if it's really been articulated on like how the work looks, what the sacrifice is, but also how good it is to sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like what that is like. So Breanne, I thank you for hopping on. I don't know your numbers like specifically, but I do know you're $30,000+ a month. Okay. What's your best month you've had?
I believe it was last month at 32.
32,000. Okay. How long have you been licensed and working at Family First Life?
I got my license middle of February, so my first full month was March.
March. Okay. So we're talking, was that 5 months? You're in month five?
Month five.
You're in month five. Okay. And since the start until through month five, 32 grand, what was your year to date? How much is that?
Oh, ugh, hard question. I should probably know that.
Just give me ballpark. What
I
is it?
think it's
80?
one. I think it's 119. Last time I looked, I have it
Hey, did she
somewhere.
get y'all's attention yet? I just want to know, did she get your attention yet? There's a lot of folks on here that they want to do it. They want to do it, right? But I want them to listen to the way you're doing it. All right. And I want to see, will they do exactly what you're doing? Or will they go, no, well, that sounds good, but I want to do this over here. It's like, this is the way. I got into this, Breanne, to be profitable and make money, not be an insurance guru. Okay. And when I see somebody come in like you, I know I'm 100% unequivocally know that you don't know everything about life insurance.
Slightest.
Like at all. Like if I was like, yo, like with this annuity or this or that, you could be like, oh, well, maybe I kind of, but like, it's really not. You came in here to make money. Is that fair?
Yes.
Did you care what type of product it was or anything like that?
I mean, I care a little bit, yeah.
No, I mean
I
like as
like
you did your
working.
leads. Like what type of leads do you buy?
Oh, I buy vet leads.
Vet leads. Okay. You weren't going, oh, I need those annuity leads. I need those
No,
IUL leads. I need the big ticket leads.
no.
Why not?
Honestly, I just listened to what my upline told me. He's like, you're gonna start on vet leads. I'm a vet myself. And I just started on aged vet leads. Like I do want to learn IUL and stuff, but right now this is working for me. So I'm not like in a huge hurry to go do that. I mean, my uplines love mortgage protection and it scares me. So, when I'm ready, I'll do that and we'll just see how it goes. But if this is
Dude,
working, I don't really want to change anything yet.
I wouldn't change it either. All right. How do we get this thing? How did you get off the ground? Okay. Like, how did you get off the ground? How did you go from not knowing to first month? What did you do your first month?
My first month, I did 25K on all aged.
All aged leads. Huh. Help us. Okay. How much did you invest that month in those leads?
I'd say 800
Eight
at
hundred
tops,
dollars,
200 a week.
200 a week, aged vet leads. Okay. Walk us through the plan. Walk us through what that look like? Because I've had people
Uh,
buy leads and spend way more than that and get a lot less.
I mean, it's a grind for sure. It's a grind. It was a grind. It still is, but especially those aged ones. I know a lot of people, even on my team, they'll reach out to me and they'll just say, how many times do you dial? And I'm like, till I get a hold of them. Like I still go back to my age leads. If I'm, I've already went through my new leads, I'll go back to my first and second packs. Um, because I know I missed something on there and maybe it wasn't just, wasn't the right time for them. But maybe now it is. And I'll see notes on there, call in July. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I just always go back. I don't ever stop calling until I get a hard no or a yes. So
What's a hard no?
a hard no is going through a presentation and, trying everything I had to, get them to apply, even if that means the 30 days, which I'm trying to get away from because I've gotten some chargebacks, but um definitely no, not just, I don't take, I don't know, just the rudeness or, not right now or hanging up on me. I'm going to keep calling him back, keep calling him back. Has to be a hard no.
Hard no. Okay. What's the number one thing if you're working age leads that you have to, what's your expectation going into working age leads? And what do I need to be prepared for?
Um, I'm not sure what you mean by that.
What do I need to be prepared for? Like, if I buy 100 age leads, what can I expect? If
Um,
200, you spent 200 on age leads, what was your expectations going into that? Maybe it could be work wise. What did you expect the workload was going to be? Was it what you expected? And what things do they say on the phone? And why do you still work only age leads?
no, I work new now and both. I
Okay.
mix aged ins.
Do you think if you would have started with new leads, you would have been as successful?
No, absolutely
Why?
not.
Why not?
Because you need a better skill set for the new leads. So you gotta have your presentation down and your rebuttals down, but at the age leads, you have more of those at bats. So I don't have like a quota, I know you never know how age leads are gonna be, but my goal was always to make one sale to get my money back and then some so I can invest in some more leads. And then after that, if I make another sale, that's all profit. Um, I'm not sure if I'm answering your question.
Let's get into the sales piece. You're talking about
Okay.
your rebuttals. What type of rebuttals do you get? How do you get better at your rebuttals? How did you get better?
Um, just getting them more and more. I get the same thing with age leads or a new leads that I did with age leads. I didn't fill it out. I don't need it. I already have some. It's all the same thing, but the thing is that I hear you guys say all the time is like they did fill it out. And at first I'm like, well, I don't know. Like they're saying they didn't fill it out, but now I'm like, okay, you filled this form out or your spouse filled this form out. You need the life insurance. So I just treat every case like they need it. They filled it out. And I'm getting away from those, limiting beliefs that,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't fill it out. And I had to stop thinking that I'm bugging them and go with, they're bugging me, because I'm paying for these leads, $30 a lead. And then they're, just have the same old story. But I've just learned to, roll with the punches, get back at them. I don't know. I'm like trying to think of like exactly what I say, but it's pretty much, everything any upline tells you to say as far as rebuttals. I didn't fill it out. No, you did fill it out. Is your date of birth this, and then confirm something. That's not all public knowledge that they put on there.
All right. Let me throw some of those objections at you, okay? And then just
Uh-oh.
respond to me. All right. So I didn't fill it out. I didn't fill that out. Okay.
Perfect. That's the purpose of my call, is what they told me to do right away. Just whatever they say, just use that or go back at them. Okay, I have your date of birth here as 10/10/86. Is that correct? And then if they still say, yeah, a lot of times they'll say, oh, yeah, but you can get that anywhere, and then just confirm their email. And then I just go back to my script. I don't stay there. I don't stay in that space.
Why do you think it is people buy insurance from? I'll say you specifically. Why do they buy insurance from you?
I think I can relate to them. I'm a vet myself, but I think that I can have like a conversation. And I know like Kylie on here, I know she's great at having that conversation, being personable. I try not to be pushy, until they start, you know, until you start losing them, and then I have to direct them back. But I'm still learning and I'm still getting better because I can
Right.
definitely be too nice.
When do you think that is? And why is too nice? What does too nice mean?
Just kind of like Sean was talking on the call today, like you can't build too much rapport. You can't be BSing about what you're doing this weekend too much because they definitely get off in left field and then it's hard to bring them back. So I'll say things like, how many grandkids do you have? And stuff like that, or sports teams if they bring it up, then I just try to go right back to my script because I don't want to get off on a different tangent and lose sight of what the call is for.
Why do you show up every day?
For one, I like those deposits hitting every day. Um, and I know in a commission-based job, I'm not going to get paid for a vacation day. I'm not going to get paid. If I sit here and scroll TikTok and not dial, I don't like to be broke. I want to buy a house, and every job before this has made it hard in this economy. So I just knew that I have something in me that I know I can win, but I just was never in the right vehicle. And when I did this, I went all in. I did this. I was full time doing this before I even got contracted. I was just listening to the dial team and hearing people say unmute, unmute. And then when I actually started, I would just unmute, unmute, which my uplines, I'm sure you're the same way, Dom.
Yeah.
They're adamant about that because if they can't hear you and then they can't hear the client, there's not much you guys can help with, because it's what I think I did wrong versus you guys actually hearing, because if we don't know what we're doing wrong, it's kind of hard to explain it.
Wow.
Dom,
That being, yeah,
I got a
yeah, you
question.
got it.
So, did you work with Rami, right? Rami and
Yes.
did you know them before?
No, not at all.
So, why do you think like have you always been like that? Like have you always just been like super like trusting and open and coachable, or like did they say something magic that like got you to like just believe everything they say? Or like what was your perspective when you came into this, right? Like not knowing really who they were, not really knowing anything about insurance, but just being so totally open to just like buying into everything that they advise you to do.
So I mean, at first, I would say I definitely was a little bit leery. I think everyone should be. If you're
Yep.
not, that's kind of weird. But I was, and things that Rami told me to say, like to the clients, I was like, oh my God, I'm not saying that to them. Like I'm like polite, but that can backfire a little bit. There's a line there that you can't be too polite. I've lost definitely some sales by being too nice, but I think I've always been coachable. I think that I've always been a really hard worker. I think that Rami and I and Marisa, we had to build some of that trust, because it was kind of like, I was really skeptical about this whole thing, but at the same time, I was all in. I was like, I don't have a plan B. Like, I'm going to make this work. I'm
Mm,
going to work hard. And if it works like they say I'm going to reap the, benefits. Like it's going to happen. So, I think we all built that trust together. I knew Rami and Marisa had my back from, the jump for most of it, and I know that I think it kind of depends what you put in. So I'm probably super annoying. I call them all the time. I mean, not call them all the time, like overbearing, but I have questions, and if someone else is unmuted, I'll send Rami like the meds, and I'm like, I'm sorry, and and they don't care. Like if you're putting in the effort, they're gonna meet you where you're at. So if you're not putting the effort and you're always calling, like, I mean, I'm sure that is annoying because they're selling too. They're busy too. But yeah, I think, I just we built that relationship together. I know they want me to win and I know they want everyone else to win, but I don't think everyone, shows up every day, buys leads. I have my little cheat sheet right here.
What did
What's
you
on there?
see what did you see that like excited you about this enough though, right? Like the you say like skeptical, but like also I was all in. So like was it YouTube? Was it Sean? Like what was it that you saw that was like, God, there's this thing must be working, and even though I'm skeptical, I want to be all in. You know what I mean? Because I think some people
Yeah.
like they only see one thing and it's kind of like, we'll see. But you obviously saw something that led you to have that level of belief, despite the skepticism.
Yeah, so I actually have a friend that she sells life insurance and this is really weird. We're still like friends from a distance, but I asked her because I knew she like barely works. She has two young kids and she's always going on these trips and I was I want a career change. Like what are you doing? And she really wouldn't tell me anything. So I did my own research and I don't remember if it was Sean or who, but I looked up like the best IMOs and everything was family first, family first. So I reached out to her again and I said, "Is family first a scam?" And she must have looked you guys up and she's like, "Well, I don't know. They've been around a really long time." So I was just kind of like searching around myself, but I was like, all these videos are saying family first. Like something has to be there. And they really got me because they're like, you can be licensed in like a week. And they like challenged me. They're like, can you do it in a week? And I was like, yeah, like I'm in. Like, and I was working full time, but I did. I ended up taking my test within a week. So I was just, I mean, what did I have to lose? I didn't have anything to
Mm,
lose. Worst case scenario, I go back to what I was doing. Um, best case scenario, I work my butt off and make this thing work.
mm.
Hey, what were you doing full time before this?
Okay. So I was a personal shopper. I was in healthcare. I worked 312s and then COVID burned me out and everything that went on with that. So on the side, I was a personal shopper on my 4 days off. So I built up some clientele there and I did their Target orders, Hy-Vee orders and such.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You said one thing here that if folks already started, I think they could take something from it. But you said you started full time before your license, before you even licensed. What does that mean? What's a full time insurance agent? What does that look like? And what do you define as full time?
So I work Monday through Saturday, but when I say I started before, I was just waiting for contracting and I was just listening to the dial team and cleaning the
I
house.
remember seeing you on there,
Yeah,
like on dial team, like for like weeks before you even started calling. And I remember
I
I used to be
did.
like, oh, she just like, 'cause I was like, why isn't she like talking or anything? Oh, I'm just here listening. Like I don't even have my contracts yet. I'm like, damn. All right, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, keep going.
I probably should have been making some money. I could have been, but I don't know. Rami was like, no, just like do what you gotta do to get prepared. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna clean the house and listen to everyone dial. But full time to me, I stick to my schedule, and I think that's a huge part of why I've been so successful. I made the schedule with Rami, which basically Rami kind of made it and I just went with it. I was like, whatever I have to do, I'm in. I don't have kids, I don't have an excuse. So I dial from about 8:30. I do a little bit of office stuff in the morning now from 8 to 8:30 because I have trouble getting a hold of the carriers without a long wait in the afternoon. So I dial from 8:30 to 1 and then I take an afternoon break. I take a lunch break, walk my dogs from 1 to 3 and then I dial usually 3:30 till 7 p.m. That's my non-negotiable. And then Saturday I usually work 9:30, 10 to 3.
Non-negotiable. That's big. That's big. Now, what are as you go through, you said you had chargebacks, some things like that going on month two. Three. How do you respond to that? And to the new agent on here worried about chargebacks or anything like that, what can you speak to as it pertains to that part of the business?
It's just part of the business. I think Sean says 30% of your business is just expect that to charge back. Now, if it's more than that, you need to probably look at some things. Um, I would get down. I'm not gonna lie, my mindset is the hardest thing. But I'm really working on that. But instead of like complaining, I would just be like, Rami, like, I don't know, like every time I sell a policy, I'm just paying back the chargeback. So that can get you in some dark places. But I always know, like, if I work hard and keep selling, I just do the same thing every day. And you're gonna come out on top. So um and I am working on some of the things, it's weird because once I get a chargeback, I look at the name and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I kind of push them. So it's not too often that I get a chargeback and it's like, why did I get this? It's usually like, oh, okay, I remember her. But it's just gonna be a part of business. People have buyer's remorse. People, they don't think it's that important to pay that bill every month because, when I die, I die. I mean, some people just aren't concerned about their family when they die. So it's just a part of it. You gotta keep selling though. The thing that kills me about some people is like they'll like sell like two policies and then you won't see them for like 3 or 4 days. And I'm like, that scares me because I'm like what if that charges back? And then like I just have to be consistent. Like I want to know I have money coming and in every week. I definitely buy leads every week, twice a week. So that just scares me. Like once that momentum goes, I took Friday and Saturday off, 4th of July weekend. And honestly, I felt like I had a rough time those first 2 weeks of July after that. And it's probably in my head, but maybe not. I was like, how do I get back that momentum? It was just weird taking off 2 days. So yeah, I mean, you gotta keep it rolling. I can't imagine people that do this like part time. It's like, I mean, I don't see how you can make that work.
Neither do I. I
Okay.
don't. Darlene has a question. She says, looking back, is there anything you would have done differently in your first 90 days?
Yes. Things I would have done differently. I would have trusted my upline a little more. Um, I have a hard time speaking to people like that. Um, but it's necessary. I would have done that and not question every little thing. Because now I know 100%, they want everyone to win, and there's a reason they're saying these things. Like, I thought, he'd say, protect your dial time. Why are you calling the carriers at this time? And I'm like, oh my God, it's not a big deal. But it's like that cuts into like 45 minutes of people I could have been calling. So it all makes sense. And then I did unmute a lot, but I'd say in the last few months, I've gotten kind of away from that. And I had to
Mm.
be coached, you still need to unmute. Like people need to hear you call. And if you don't need it, then they need you. And that's not even, I'm like I said, I am not that good. I follow my script and I just ask a lot of questions. And I think, you know, like I said, if you're not unmuted, they can't help you. And then the people that unmute, but you can't hear the client, it's like, well, that's not very helpful either because they have no idea what they're saying. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's the biggest things.
Can, can we kind of talk about that? Like, that's how I know you is through your hearing you during presentations. Makes sense. Um, I've heard countless of your presentations. Does that make sense? Which is great. Um, how can we encourage others to do the same? Right? Like, did you just know? Like, did you just not care that other? Because other people go, well, there's people on there. I don't want to talk over people. Da, 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 da. Why didn't any of that ever stop you?
Um, Honestly, but like the 2 weeks before I started that I was waiting to get contracted, I just kept hearing people on Zoom say, unmute, unmute. We can't help you if you don't unmute. So it was just already in my brain that I had to do that. But I think I think people are scared. I said stupid stuff. I still say, stupid stuff, but it's like everyone's here to get better and everyone's here to learn. So if somebody's, like if somebody would really have the audacity to like make fun of something you said, like that just speaks volumes about them because we're all trying to get better. A lot of us are new. Some of us aren't new and could probably use some coaching, but because you never unmute. So it's like it's really hard to, if you get into a bad habit to even know. I'm sure some people don't even know. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
honestly, you're gonna go way further if you just unmute. Like people on there are, they're there to help you. Nobody's making fun of you. And like I said, if they are, they're not gonna make it.
Do you
I
have a
that's
story of maybe like one? Do you have a client or an appointment that stood out to you with getting support on live dials? Like, does anything like stick out to you from when you started, or?
um I have a lot of memories of Rami. I think a lot of you guys probably heard him the other day with Devlin,
Yeah.
just making him say stuff. So it's more like stuff like that, him making me say like you're in the fourth quarter. But I don't have any like bad memories of anyone. I mean, I feel
No,
like sometimes people
like
can be
positive. Like,
hard
do you
on
remember
them.
like this happened here? I would have never closed that without this. You
Oh
know?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, most of the time it was in a breakout room with Rami, but even just the other day, like towards the end, I have trouble pushing them, and he's just like, just tell him to go get his banking. Like, stop asking. And I have a hard time doing that. And he's like, you sometimes you just got to tell them what to do. Like they want you to tell them what to do. And I was just like, just go get your banking. Like we've already wasted an hour. Just go get your banking. And he was like, okay. And I'm like,
Ain't
oh
that
my
some shit?
gosh. Yeah.
But if you weren't on there, he wouldn't have moved. You weren't in a position like some. This is a great because I was talking to some other folks today, and I said your value of the people you work with isn't underwriting. The value you get from people who close deals is they know how to get people to move. Rami knows how to get people to move.
Yeah.
You don't talk to him about underwriting and diabetes and stuff like that all day. You talk to him about how do I get this client who didn't want to do this or do this to do like that's the value here. But those questions typically aren't questions that we ask because we don't even know it's a problem, which is why being on live dials is so huge because that Rami could hear it and give you the correction you didn't even know was there, that you didn't even know was a problem. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I thought that was okay to understand them and, you know what I mean, get back to them. Or no, no. Right now, today is when we're doing this. Go get your bank account. I had a guy yesterday, same thing. He was like, well, would you be able to find your? I was like, dude, just tell her to get up and get it. Go get it. Well, do you know where it is? Or like, no, no, no. Hey, go grab that real quick. I'll wait. The next thing you know, people just get up. I'd call
Yeah.
Sean from the home, Bree, and I'd be like, hey, they are having some trouble, like getting their bank account or giving them a social, whatever. And he just hop on the phone and go, all right, so you guys don't want to give Dom your social? They go, no, we just don't give our social out to people. They're like, all right, cool. Well, just give it to me, and then we'll put it straight in there. Okay. I'm like, I'm still here. I can hear y'all. I'm like, I can hear you. And it was just mind boggling to me. I was like, oh my God, you just need somebody else in your corner just to kind of help you out and do a little, you know what I mean? So use that stuff. And I love the way you're using Marisa and Rami. Makes sense. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Know what their value is and blow it the hell up. You ain't never bothering them. All right. They tell everybody to call them up. You're the only one who does. Does that make sense? And like,
Yeah.
that's just the way it goes. I remember Sean used to be like, anybody just call me up. Nobody calls him. I'm like, dude, nobody calls you? He goes, no, dude, just you. I was like, wow. Wow. So I got a personal insurance assistant. This is great. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I just took advantage of it. So any questions that you guys have for Bree or any comments you have or anything, I want to open it up to anybody. Or Bree, if you have anything you want to share.
I mean, while they think of a question, I got one
Yeah.
more. So, I mean, because I want to talk about the work real quick because we mentioned the schedule, but like, do you at all track your numbers, or if not, at least have like an idea of like dials per day or presentations or like, just what within that time frame that you mentioned, like what does it look like to put in that kind of work? Because like I'm taking notes and what I'm hearing is like, no crazy word tracks, don't know a lot about insurance, like all this stuff. So the only thing it means is high volume and reps. You know what I mean? So I just want like I want to know what that looks like.
So on like a really slow day where I'm not getting pickups, I usually dial, I'll look at my ringing, it'll be like 600, or sometimes I'll text Rami if it's like a slow day and I'll be at like by 1 o'clock, I'll be at like 390 something just on ringing. I'm like, I started calling on my personal number. So I don't track dials. I did in the beginning, but now like I think everyone says it's more about making contact. So as long as I'm dialing nonstop in that dial time, if I don't make contact, I mean, some days it's going to be like that. But my goal is to get someone on the phone, get a few presentations, and the less dials, honestly, the better, because that means I'm getting presentations and it's not that I'm
Boom.
not
Yep.
dialing. So I don't, I don't track those. But I will share. I think I threw my post-it away today. I just started tracking my numbers last month, honestly, as far as like deposits and such. And this was my June. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but
Yeah, show it again. We can see it. Do it again.
okay. So June I grossed 27,000, and there were some bonuses last month that I got.
Let's go.
So I netted 17,975, and then net plus bonus was $26,912.
Come on.
Let's
And
go.
I was like, do I know where it went? No. No, I'm just kidding. I do transfer, I do save for taxes and such, but when I saw that on paper, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like I would have never dreamed that I'd be, could do
Shoot.
that in a
Really
month.
crazy.
So it's crazy. It's amazing this like what you can do with this. And honestly, like where else are you gonna sell a policy today and get paid, the deposit hits in a day or two. Like it's insane. And then up front, 9 months up front, it's just
But that's it
You're
right there.
telling
I
me
mean,
I
like
want to
it's
start over.
it's not that deep. On a bad day, on a slow day, 600, 390 by lunch. You know what I mean? Like some of us, we haven't gotten 390 in 3 months. You know what I mean? Just being real, you know what I mean? And so like, yeah, the goal is presentations, but it's just literally just sit there, no distractions, send button, send button, send button, like just hammering.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't understand like people that don't dial, like especially um like older leads. It's just confusing to me. Like you're not going to make money unless you dial, unless you get people on the phone. So like people that are like, I have anxiety about dialing. It's like, well, like you have to dial. That's our whole job. Like
What we
you're
do.
not going to get paid if you don't dial. So that's always been a little confusing to me. Like I understood that assignment from the beginning. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, 600 something dials, 8 hours between, the morning dial and the evening dial. Yeah, it's a long day, but it's just a numbers game.
No confusion that it's a high volume outbound phone deal. Like that's just what we do.
It's a numbers game.
I love it.
Each time I went, was it March? Oh, it was probably April. Beginning of April, I had like a whole week that I didn't have a sale. And I was like, my mind was going everywhere, places, I was like, everything. Like, this isn't going to work. I knew I wasn't good. Da, 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 da. Your mind can go to some bad places. But then that week went by and then I made a sale and it was like, okay, all right, now we got to just keep going. I mean, it's going to happen. There's going to be slow times. There's going to be chargebacks. It's a business. But seriously, I'm so grateful that I found this because I mean, no, I don't know anywhere else I could make $26,000 in a month. Like, I'm just doing my job. And like I said, I'm not good. I'm not good yet. I'm learning, but it's really, I'm still new. I'm still learning every day.
Hey, Bree, I had a quick question.
Sure.
So out of the new leads that you mentioned, how many presentations are you just getting off of those leads per day?
I don't track that. I say I'm gonna just look at my last set of leads that came in. I get 30 leads, 30 new leads twice a week. So I get them on Sunday and Monday.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
or not Sunday and Wednesday, I'm sorry. So in the
50
last
a
pack
week.
of leads, I've made 2 sales. I've got about 4 appointments scheduled out of 30 so far, but I've only been calling these for one day. And then the Sunday pack, I've sold three of those since Sunday. Um, and it looks like a lot of them I just haven't made contact with yet.
Okay. And then once
But
you're done
it's
with those, you say you go back to your old leads and then just
I do, yeah.
okay.
Yep. So I'll call all my new leads in the morning. I usually call them off my personal phone. And then once I'm done with those, I just start dialing the old leads, newest to oldest usually. So last week's leads, I'll go back through them and then keep going down the line until my afternoon starts. And then I'll usually dial my new ones on Ringy. I do twice a day. And then I'll just go wherever I left off from those lists that morning, then I'll go into those if I have time. So
Okay, cool. Thank you.
yeah.
What
So
does that
Bree,
run you? What does that run you a week?
2,200 now.
Big.
I have them on recurring.
There you go.
Bree, I had a question about are you using an auto dialer or are you still just punching your personal phone back to back to back when you get to
I'm just
600?
yeah, I'm just dialing on my phone. So I dial from my personal and then ringy, I just dial on there. I really probably need to get a power dialer. I tried it one time a couple, maybe last month, and it scared me because my headphone was messed up and I was like, oh my God, I don't like this. But I have so many leads now that I need to get back through in a timely manner. So I am looking at doing some kind of power dialing. Um, but yeah, I just hand dial for now. I'm old school, I guess.
Rhea, I have a question for you.
Sure.
And thank you for always being unmuted. I really appreciate it on a daily basis.
Of
Um,
course.
what are some things you think that you say in your presentation that prevent chargebacks? Like ways for
Um,
you to get assurance, you know what I mean? Ways to kind of, weed out not even going through with it.
yeah. Now I do try to push them, I will push them if they need to be pushed, but definitely ask like your power questions. Try to make them tell you that they need it. And then definitely like herd mentality. Rami's big on that. So if you're selling to vets, like most vets, you don't want to be a burden on your family, and kind of um make them sell themselves. I'm really working on that to get better. Um I'd say the power questions and just sticking to that script. I still use the same script. Um I think a big thing at the beginning is like setting the table. So I'm not sure how you guys do it, but I have like a role and purpose. It basically explains who I am, who I work with, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shop around. I'm sure you guys all have a version of it. And then, my goal today is to submit an application. So there's no confusion. Like I'm not a quote girl. Like my goal is to submit an application and get you approved. Once you set that, I feel like they call that like setting the table, once you can they're on the same page there with you, I feel like it goes a lot smoother. And I've lost people right there because they're like, oh shit. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'd rather lose you right there than waste another 45 minutes, but I'll still call you back. Um, and then, yeah, just giving them options, not trying to oversell, that's a big thing. Like, listen to them when they tell you, they're short on funds or they have all this debt. make it make sense for them, their budget, and what they're looking to do. I think, yeah, and you don't want like the bigger chargebacks are obviously a little bit worse, but I mean, definitely if they want 40,000, definitely sell it. I'm not saying that, as long as they can afford it. Um, let's see what else. Also at the end, we say, um, I've been saying you're going to receive your policy in about 5 days. When you get the policy, give me a call so I can mark your file as complete. If anyone calls you saying they're my boss, they're lying. Give them my number. I'm the only one who would be reviewing your policy with you. They're just trying to sell you more insurance. So having them save your phone number, sending the text message. I have a little thing that I send them once I sell the policy, and it basically has Family First Life on it. It's just a little deal, and it says final expense benefits, whole life, permanent coverage, death benefit. It's just like a little thing that I can email if any of you guys want it.
Yeah, that'd be
And
dope.
just yeah, okay. And it just following up with them, I am terrible about that, and I'll blame my month of chargebacks on that. So I'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna call you in 10 days," and then I have been terrible about that. So I think that's a huge thing that I'm gonna start doing because I think that'll save a lot of chargebacks. But I mean, mostly it, like I said, when I get a chargeback, I'm like, "Oh, it was Doreen. That makes sense." For the most part, you have a few out there, but yeah, I'm working on that chargeback thing because it is stressful, but it is part of the deal.
It is.
And you got agents that'll go in right after you and
But here's the thing, Breanne, you're in what, month 5?
Yes.
Wait till you hit month like 11 and 12, and then your chargebacks just disappear because you're back end money. You know what I mean? Like you are literally
Yeah,
only working on advance money right now. So like it's
exactly.
just a different ball game when you sold so much early on that back end money is going to come in once you hit month 10, 11, 12, and your how you feel about chargebacks right now will be like completely gone. So that's why like just for surviving those first like 9 months is so huge.
Yeah, I think so too. They're like, don't quit when it gets hard because that's right before it's gonna get good. So,
Oh
and I
man,
I believe that
that's
for
the best way
sure.
to put it.
I hate seeing, I'm like, I want that deposit from America every day. Like
Every day. Yes.
every day, but you know what I mean.
That's what I'm
100%.
talking about. Hey, I got the thing already. Thank you for sending me that.
Yeah, you will.
Anybody else have any other questions for Brady? You've been killing this. This is great.
So good.
So good.
Oh, thank you. I'm nervous, but I'm just
I can't
speaking the
tell.
truth.
That's it. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. All right. Sean says this all the time. Like, if people think they got to be special to do this, they think way too highly of themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is like getting pizza delivery driver of the year. Like, all that means is that I just chose to work more than the other pizza delivery drivers. Does that make sense? It's like, it's not like the way people win it, they work more. They work more, and through working more, your mind you give your mind the ability to get places it's never been. The best thing for your self-image is work. Best thing for your financial situation is work. People hear 6 days a week, Bree, and they go, "Oh, that's a lot." You hear 4 days a week, and you're like, "God damn, that's bad for my mental health." Does that make sense?
Really?
It's just two different ways of thinking. And I'm like, yo, we got to know work is the cure to everything wrong, negative, misperceived in this space. It's work. Chargebacks work more. Does that make sense? I got, things in my personal life are cool, work more. It's just like, this has been the best distraction for personal shit in my life, and the best like lock-in for like where I want to be. So it's like, regardless, you got to find your business is the place to where you want to be all the time, not the place you have to be. And so 6 days a week is strong. And I'm sure you've worked 7 before. On that day off, are you like off? Or are you just like how's that look for you? Are you like this? I'm off. Like, nope. If my client calls me, I'm not picking up the phone.
No, I'll do like appointments on Sundays, and then But for the most part, like I don't dial on Sundays. I need that mental reset. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's not like I'm not thinking about my business. Like I'm still like watching YouTubes, listening to motivation, like to stay in the zone, but I'm just
Right.
relaxing. Yeah.
Well, that's good. All right. Because I think sometimes we have non-negotiables on off days, but we damn sure negotiate the work days. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing. They're like, Sunday's my day off. And I'm like, well, Monday you're supposed to be working and you negotiated on Monday. So why don't you negotiate on Sunday? The hell's going on?
man.
Right? So I just want to know, like, what does that look like? All right, I hear you with miss off day, but damn, what about the work days? Okay. So anything you want to leave and share with us, Bree, for the weekend? We got weekend work. It's Friday. A lot of people may, after this, they may be willing to pack it up. They may be like, dude, I'm done for the week. I'll see y'all Monday at training. Why is that not a good idea, Bree? What would Bree do after this training as a new agent?
I'm gonna dial till 7, and then I'm gonna dial tomorrow 10 to 3. Um, I'm scared of that. They say like once you get that momentum, don't let it go. And I'm so scared, especially after 4th of July. I'm like, and it may be in my mind, but maybe it is a part of the thing. Like you got to keep that momentum going. Like I have leads. I'm excited. I'm like, I have leads coming in twice a week. So Monday, I know I have new leads. Wednesday, I've got new leads coming in. Like that's exciting for me. If you don't have leads coming in, like get into a flow. Like that's huge. And then I just wrote down a few notes, for this call. I wasn't sure what you were going to ask, but the 6 biggest things for me that have helped me are my schedule, lead flow, coachability, unmuting. That's huge, you guys. Like definitely unmute. That has changed the game for me. Leads and then ask for help. And if you do those things, I mean, you're gonna kill it. There's no way you can't kill it. If you're working your hardest every day and you're dialing when you're supposed to be dialing, not scrolling Instagram, there's no way you can't win in this. It's it's a it's a blessing, really. I seriously, and I'm not just saying this, you guys probably think I'm corny, but I'm grateful every day that I landed here. I'm grateful for this culture. I have mental health issues. I'm a recovering alcoholic. And it's a whole thing. It's not only can you make money, but it's like everyone wants you to win. You guys talk about mental health and things like that. And that's crazy to me. I've been in healthcare, I've been in military, like everybody just brushes that to the side. And it's like this huge, wonderful, like welcoming team. I'm so grateful. And this isn't even my team, and how honored I was when Dom asked me to be on this call. It's like me.
This is your team, and we're built. This is one team, and I'll tell you this. Sean said it. He goes, FFL, we're just a bunch of misfits who needed a shot.
Literally.
I'm gonna keep it real. Like my background, you'd be like, for real? I'd be like, yeah, dude, it was crazy. You know what I mean? You're like, what happened? Like, dude, it was God. God said you better be doing this because boy, oh boy. But we all have our story, and I'm so happy to see yours, Bree. I'm so happy to be a part of it. I know you're gonna do big things. I know you're gonna help a lot of people, not just with the sale of insurance, with this opportunity. You're a leader. You're gonna build a big team. You're gonna help a lot of people.
Yep.
And so I'm just excited to see it. And thank you for sharing with all of us today. I know we're inspired. I'm inspired personally and team-wise. So I can't thank you enough. So keep doing your thing. All right. I haven't seen somebody in a long time come in an FFL in my sphere, right? Like there's other folks doing other things, although I'm not acting like I see and know everything. But where I show up every day, you stand out. And I respect the hell out of it. So keep doing your deal. All right.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, great questions today. Great feedback. All right. And let's crush it this weekend. All right. Let's keep up with Bree. She's already at $4,000 for today. All right. And she's talking about she still got a few hours to work. I'm like, damn, let's go. So, all right, you guys have a great day. Be blessed.